Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Jamaica presentation on your best nearshore location. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, a big thank you to the International Trade Council for inviting our Jamaica team to participate in this Think Global forum today. I want to talk to you about Jamaica. I know you think you know Jamaica because you've heard about tourism and you've probably been on your honeymoon here. Jamaica, however, has a lot more to offer than just tourism if you leave the beach. So Jamaica is actually the largest English-speaking Caribbean nation with a population of 2.73 million people and a highly educated and trained workforce. We have over 260,000 people in tertiary enrollment. Our workforce is 1.3 million, so size of a small US city. We have a robust telecommunications with redundancy, high-speed connectivity, mobile and fixed. And the critical thing about Jamaica really is that we are a strategic location between North and South America with the most modern port in the region, and we service 12 major shipping lines and are able to accommodate post-Panamax vessels through our modern port. We have had a stable democracy, exchanging governments and administrations through the voting process since independence in 1962. We actually are number 6 in the world for press freedom. So we actually have an extremely high level of democracy in Jamaica. We also have an open and transparent investment regime. We're one of the rare countries where foreigners can actually own any type of asset, including land. And we're number 6 globally in starting a business. We also have 12 double taxation treaties with several countries. Before COVID-19, we were actually doing extremely well as in our macro economy. We had an unemployment rate that had declined to a historic low of 7.2%. Compound average growth rate of 1% between 2015 and 2019. Our fastest growing industries during that period were hospitality, agriculture, mining, and digital services. We also had a low single digit inflation rate since 1998. So actually an extremely good macroeconomic outlook, which was recognized by the international rating agencies Fitch, Moody's, and S&P, giving us a B+ long-term bond debt rating. However, of course, we all suffered from the pandemic, and since COVID, our unemployment rate has climbed back up to 10.7%, but we don't expect it to remain there. In 2020, our real GDP declined by 10.2%. But what is very positive is that the IMF, with whom we have had a very strong relationship since 2013, has actually forecast positive economic growth for 2021, rising to 5.7% in 2022, and thus outperforming the regional average of 3.1%. Our debt to GDP ratio is less than 100% and trending downwards. And in March 2021, Fitch affirmed or reaffirmed its B+ rating and rated Jamaica from positive to stable. So the outlook for Jamaica post-COVID, once we get to herd immunity and enough of our population vaccinated, is actually pretty good. Our Minister of Tourism expects tourism to start rebounding in summer of 2021. In Jamaica, you will find a really diverse mix of multinational corporations. We have over 200 multinational corporations that are actually present in Jamaica in some form or another. And that goes from shipping lines such as Maersk to banks such as Citibank, to gas and petrol station management such as Total, to drinks companies such as Heineken and Campari. We have Chinese companies like China Harbor, engineering company, and Complant. We have international courier services such as FedEx and DHL, technology companies like Ericsson, shipping lines like CMA CGM, and New Fortress Energy, which is a provider of LNG, Cemex out of Mexico, cement company. So we have quite a range of companies in Jamaica, and we have a growing economy. So before COVID, we actually had a number of accolades from some of the biggest business names out there, such as Forbes, who voted Jamaica the best Caribbean country for doing business, such as Bloomberg, who rated our stock market as the highest performing in 2015 and 2018. We actually moved from 30 outsourcing companies in Jamaica to over 60. That's doubling in the last 10 years. We also saw an increase in tourist arrivals in the last decade of 45%. And we were number 71 out of 190 countries in the World Bank's Doing Business report of 2020. So Jamaica had a pretty good track record as an economy, I'm sure you'd agree. However, with the COVID-19 economic impact, we have to say that the impact was significant and really a body blow to the economy. We suffered a serious loss of productivity, of course. We suffered unemployment, severe negative impact on sectors like tourism, which really pretty much halted for several months, but as I said, is coming back with a vengeance because there is certainly a pent-up demand for travel overseas. And we also suffered to some extent a decline in trade, particularly with commodities. Jamaica is one of the largest bauxite and alumina exporting nations and did suffer a decline because of the global commodity price declines in the alumina market. However, that again, with the refloating of economies and the startup of recovery of economic activity, we expect to see that industry also start to pick up again. So what did the Jamaican government do as a response to COVID? Really took quick strategic action and close monitoring of the economy. So we have done the best we can to rein in the macro economy and to maintain some of that the positive gains of some 8 years of IMF program. So we had a huge fiscal stimulus package, huge in Jamaican terms, of course, which cushioned the impact of the virus on businesses and workers, because there was a care package for workers, but there was also a strong package of fiscal support to small and medium-sized businesses. But the government took also some radical moves, made some radical moves to improve the business environment, such as reducing the transfer tax on property, accelerating the development of our national broadband network, because that is critical to rolling out the digital economy, which is one of the fundamental thrusts of the government post-COVID. The creation of an incentive for large-scale projects and pioneer industries, and fast-tracking the development of the National Business Portal, which will allow for business-to-government transactions to be totally online. And this will start up by early next year. You will be able to conduct transactions with the Jamaican government and get all your business approvals online. So turning to fiscal incentives, what are the incentives that Jamaica can offer to foreign investors? There is a comprehensive omnibus fiscal incentives act, which offers really low tax environment and employee tax credit for those who create jobs. So it is a job creating incentive. And of course, you have duty-free importation of all the inputs into various business sectors. We have the Special Economic Zones legislation passed in 2015, and this really offers you similar advantages to a free zone, except that you are in a low tax, not a zero tax environment. So that low tax can take the effective tax rate of 7.5%, and you're outside the customs area of Jamaica, so you're benefiting from the Jamaican low cost environment, but also physically existing in outside of the customs area. If you locate your regional headquarters in Jamaica, your employees will not be subject to Jamaican taxation under the Headquarters Operation Act. We also allow 5-year tax holidays for companies listing on the Junior Stock Exchange, so no corporate tax for 5 years and then graduated thereafter for the next 5 years. And there are urban renewal incentives for locating within designated urban areas of Kingston and Montego Bay, the second largest city in Jamaica. So what are some of the sectors where we think there is real opportunity for international business to grow in Jamaica? Well, growing means agribusiness, of course. So we think that we have a strong value proposition for foreign investors in climate smart agriculture in Jamaica. Not only do we have 4 million visiting tourists per annum, but the Caribbean region is home to 30 million people, and you have about 30 million visitors to the region in a good year, of course. So when we get back to that level, you will actually have access to a regional market of 64 million people. In Jamaica, we have designated ex-sugar lands, former sugar lands for cultivation, and that amounts to about 20,000 acres available for cultivation. And this is not counting private lands. This is counting only government-owned lands. We have a number of crops with unique flavor profiles. I'm sure many of you will have heard of the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, which is world famous. We actually are also one of 8 countries in the world that can claim fine flavored cocoa. So again, a crop with a unique flavor profile. And there are several others. Our ginger is very much prized. Our Jamaican black castor oil is very prized in the international market for those who know about it. And there is an increasing demand for high quality Jamaican produce overseas, and that is particularly related to Jamaican cuisine. Everyone will have heard of jerk chicken. Well, you need Jamaican spices to make proper jerk chicken, and the only authentic place to get that is in Jamaica. So there are a number of Jamaican food products which are finding real demand internationally. We also have an FDA, US FDA, pre-clearance facility, which means that your produce going into the North America, into the US market, can be pre-cleared in Jamaica before it leaves our shores. And under various trade agreements, we offer you access to all the major markets of the world through trade agreements: US, UK, Canada, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Many products out of Jamaica are in very high demand internationally, as I said, and some of those you can see here. Scotch bonnet pepper, which looks like a Scotch bonnet and is actually a highly prized pepper for its flavor. Jamaican ginger, again considered among the world's best in terms of the pungency of the flavor, and pimento similarly. Cocoa I spoke about, and yam, one of the largest exporters of yam in the world is Jamaica. And we have very much, very strong market share in terms of yellow yam and various types of yam. Outsourcing, switching to an entirely different sector, outsourcing, we really are the best location to find digital skills in the hemisphere. We're the leading outsourcing destination, and over 65 companies operating locally with 40,000 jobs. We have implemented through the government a global services sector project with 24,000 trainees, matching funds for company training, and a robust telecommunications infrastructure. We really have all the advantages possible. And if you just look at this list of companies, service providers that are in Jamaica, you see the top 30 in the world who are listed here and doing a range of activities that are listed there: finance and accounting, customer service, etc. And we have a strong track record with the end users, with the clients. And you see there many of the names, that household names such as Amazon, AT&T, Hilton. We're doing work for all of these companies. Renewable energy, this is where we feel we have a real opportunity, particularly because we have liberalized power generation and already supply 15% through renewables. But our integrated resource plan is really upweighting the percentage of renewables in power generation. And we have already converted our national grid to LNG. So there's real opportunity for you to participate in this market, although it still is a regulated market in terms of transmission and distribution. Logistics, as I said, Jamaica's location makes it really the best place in this hemisphere, directly on a line north of the Panama Canal. We have a port of Kingston, which is the #1 transshipment port in the region, and also the Kingston Freeport Terminal managed by CMA CGM, which is the 3rd largest shipping line in the world. So in logistics, we have a level of efficiency and effectiveness, which is really putting us in the forefront of the region. 12 major shipping lines, in a normal year, 400 international flights weekly, and 2.8 million TEU capacity of the port, and the capacity to handle post-Panamax vessels. So now I just want to quickly highlight a couple of investment projects that are really wide open for immediate investment. One of them is the Cayman Special Economic Zone, and I explained to you this Special Economic Zone legislation. This project is really sponsored by our Planning Institute of Jamaica. It's a PPP type project with a really large area, 10,000 acres of integrated high-tech industrial and commercial development, offering warehousing, BPO and ICT space for manufacturing and logistics. So it is a globally competitive special economic zone, and we're seeking a company who will help us to build out this facility and manage and operate it. A strong feasibility study has been completed and is available for consultation. And you see there on the right that this is a $190 million US project with strong IRRs and strong NPVs. So it's a real opportunity that is open for business. Then looking at JFVL, which is an agriculture project. This is a smaller project, but it's actually could be a groundbreaking project in Jamaica because it's offering a fully integrated opportunity, access to farmlands with their own farms, warehousing, cold storage, and a multi-channel distribution service complex. Construction of a whole cold chain warehouse and literally contract farming with farmers to produce the top 10 crops that we want and we are focused on in Jamaica. So in year one, the investment required is something of the order of 6 million. They're really seeking 2 million US in private equity investment. They pretty much have the debt side of things locked up, as is usually easier to do, but they are looking for private investment. This is a local company looking for private investors to come in and join them in what could be a really lucrative venture. And finally, last but not at all least, the bamboo bio products, which is actually a joint venture between a British and a Jamaican company. This is quite a large project, 254 million, really looking at a fully integrated bamboo market, pulp mill. So this is going from the field, growing of bamboo, to actually pulping the bamboo and making pulp for tissue, paper, and other soft types of paper. So this is going to utilize locally grown bamboo. It's bamboo vulgaris, which is common throughout Jamaica, but it's actually going to create bamboo orchards in a special economic zone and has already got offtake agreements with a number of international companies for offtake of the pulp. So again, I think a really attractive project opportunity, which will actually be the most environmentally friendly mill and probably the only mill of its kind in the Western Hemisphere. Very exciting project. And that's really all we have time for today. So JAMPRO is the Economic Development Agency of Jamaica, which I represent, and really happy to be with you here this afternoon and to be able to share with you this opportunity. If you have any questions, please do contact us at any one of those locations on screen. And now I'm ready to open the floor to ask you if you have any questions of me, which I will be happy to answer. So let's open the floor for questions. Thank you for listening.